ripple. Rock the ripple. Rock the ripple. The Rock the Ripple podcast with Narita McInnes.
Let's do this. Hello, and welcome back to the Rock the Ripple podcast. I'm your host, Narita McInnes. It is so awesome to be here with you. And I'll be honest, it feels like I haven't done this for a while. And that's probably because it has been a few weeks. I recorded a few episodes in one go and then sort of concentrated on a whole bunch of other stuff in the background. So I'm back. And for you, I hope it only feels like a week. Anyway, it doesn't matter because I'm here, you're here, together. We are having a chin wag. And today's sticky note that I have, you'll be impressed actually by what I've done. I still have my book of sticky notes, and I've also created a board where I have written sticky notes as well on my computer. So, I mean, just look at me go. I've got it everywhere. Sticky notes everywhere. But today's sticky note reads, and it's actually a quote by the one and only Neville Goddard, and it says, "Your opinion of yourself will determine your expression in life." And maybe you've heard this said other ways as well. How we see ourselves is what will determine the way our life and reality plays out. It's massive. It's huge. And it's so true because what we think about ourselves, the way we perceive ourselves, whether we are conscious of it or not, is what is playing in the background and creating the reality in which we live. And here's the thing. I know that what it is that we teach is what it is we need to learn. We teach what we need to learn. We learn what we need to teach. For me, there is so much that I have just been eating up this last few years, especially around the power of our subconscious mind. And I know that as I walk forward into this next part of my life, that this is where my passion lies. This is having a deep understanding of this and how powerful it is something that I don't think will ever leave me. That's how I feel right now. It's so powerful. I'm so passionate about it, and understanding that even though we know that our programs and patterns are the things that create our reality, when you study it and learn and keep learning about all this sort of stuff, the power in it, the depth in it, the wisdom in it is just humongous. And I think that's why I'm so excited by it, because I know that when we choose to align with what it is that we truly desire, when we want to see humanity thrive, let's use that as a perfect example. We want to see humanity thrive. If you're here hanging out on this podcast with me, no doubt you are someone who is on a similar frequency to me, because otherwise we wouldn't be hanging out. That's just how frequency works. But you want to see the best for humanity. You want to see that unfold in the best possible way. And the thing is, because everything exists within, because we are part of the whole, in order for us to see the change we wish to see outwardly, we need to be that change within. And that can be anything for all of us. We all have our own different lessons and things that we're here to learn and grow and evolve with. We are all here to, we all have different paths, but we may have a similar goal in that we want to be all that we came here to be. We want to see humanity thriving in a way that is just spectacular. And so that is why this power of the subconscious mind is huge. We know that everything begins within. The thing is, we and I'm saying from absolute experience, is we get caught up in the old thoughts or not believing in ourselves enough to step into the frequency or the state of being the thing that we wish to be, because that's how it works. So in order to want to have total abundance in our life, our amazing health, all that sort of stuff, we need to step in to that state. So that state to me is a frequency. So if you imagine you're in a building right now and you're on level 1, that is a frequency. Let's call that frequency number 1. And if you want to align with the frequency of health or align with the frequency of abundance, let's say that that's at level 10. So level 10 is that frequency. Now, what's beautiful about the subconscious mind is its job is to work out the how everything is going to happen. All you need to do is occupy the state of the frequency you wish to be in. So if you want to be really healthy, and that is frequency 10, as we're using the example of the building, you don't need to take the elevator or the stairs. You simply just go straight to that level 10 state. So just imagine you're in level 1 and now you've gone straight to level 10. What does level 10, the frequency of your amazing health or abundance or finding a new relationship, you're in it, what does that look like at level 10, that frequency? When you're looking around, how are you being? How are people interacting with you? How do you feel about yourself? What do you notice that you're not worrying about anymore? How are you going about your day? What are people saying about you or to you? Are they congratulating you on, hey, wow, you're looking really good. You must be working out, or your skin looks so clear. Are you doing something different with the food that you're eating? Or, just whatever it might be. What does that look like? So when you're on that frequency of that new state, you're attracting and aligning with that state. So you're no longer level 1, you're now level 10. So to me, this is why it's so exciting and fascinating for me, because it really is super simple, but our old programming, our old patterns is the thing that gets in the way. Neville Goddard has another quote, and I'm going to have to paraphrase it now, but he talks about it's the fact that everything is possible. I'm definitely paraphrasing, but everything is possible. The fact that you think it isn't, that you believe it's not, is the very thing that's holding you back from being that which you desire. So it's you not believing it's possible. So everything is possible. And I've had this thought playing around in my head lately. If someone was to say, well, sure, then go be an astronaut. Here's the thing. There is infinite possibilities. Everything that ever was, is, or will ever be already exists. So everything already exists. There is a version of you that is an astronaut somewhere playing out in another reality. Maybe there's a version of you that is a gardener. There's a version of you that is, maybe you're a high-flying business exec in some corporate company or something. Maybe you are who's that lady who used to help the monkeys and the apes in the nature? You know who I'm talking about? Maybe you're doing that. I mean, who knows? There's so many different versions of you because there's infinite realities. There's infinite, not only things, ideas, products, there's books that haven't been written yet in this reality, but they're already written in this subconscious, universal mind. And I wish you could see what I'm doing with my arms right now. I'm like stretching them right out to the side because it's so big. Infinity's big. It's infinity. How do you explain infinity? But anyway, so there is a version of you that already is that healthy version of you. There's already a version of you that has the man or woman of your dreams. There is already that version of you that exists that is extremely abundant and has money pouring in all the time. There's already that version of you that is living in that suburb or state or country that you want to be living in. So the thing is, our job then is to align with that frequency if that is what we desire. So that's the thing I was getting to in a long roundabout way. Someone might say, be an astronaut then. And what I would say to that is, I don't have that burning desire to be an astronaut in this lifetime. In this lifetime, I have a burning desire to teach and learn. I love learning. I love growing. I love seeing people do the thing that is in their heart that they're here to do. I just love that. That is my desire. That is my passion. I get excited by it. I love writing as well. I love creating. They're the things that I get excited by. I'm sure if I had a burning desire to become an astronaut in this lifetime, then that is what I would work towards. That is where I would put my focus. But that isn't where my heart is singing. So yes, everything is possible. What is possible for you in this lifetime? What is it that you're desiring in this lifetime? That's why when I say align with the frequency of your highest potential, that is in this lifetime, in this one that we're operating in right now. What is it that you want? And if you don't know what you want, don't freak out, don't worry. The very fact that you have the question, I want to know what I want, is showing you that there is something out there coming to you. Everything is falling into place when you've got that question. If you didn't have that question, you wouldn't be seeking. So something is seeking you as well. It's coming to you to match to the frequency of you at the right time. And that's the thing too as well. With all this studying that I've been doing about understanding the power of aligning with the frequency of what it is that we desire, when we know what we want, we can step into that. I also know that there is timing that comes into play. You plant a seed and you don't expect it to be a giant big orange tree the next day if you've planted orange seeds. There is a time, there is a gestation period, just like when you have a baby. You know, you don't get pregnant and the next day have the baby. That's just not how it works. So we are living in a reality where there is time. So even though time is an illusion, we are experiencing a reality where there is time. So you align with that frequency at level 10 of the thing that it is that you desire, and you start operating from that place of knowing that it is done. Now, another thing that comes into play here too is you might have doubts or old thoughts that might come in, which is completely natural, especially if you're going to a place that you've never been before. And I heard someone say this the other day, and it sat with me so well, is when you have doubts coming in, it's your subconscious mind's way of, or your ego's way of trying to keep you safe, because you're going to a place, you're now in a place that you haven't been before. So it's trying to keep you safe and secure and not stepping out of that comfort zone. But in order to do the thing that you've never done before, you have to step out of that. You're stepping into a new frame of reference, a new way of thinking. Another way I like to look at it, aligning with the frequency of who it is you truly want to be, is you've stepped up different stairs. Now, if you imagine walking up a staircase, every time you step up a step, another stair, every time you go up another step, you have a new perspective, a new outlook, because you're stepped up a bit higher. So things look a bit differently from there. So the more that you keep raising in vibration, the more that you keep raising in consciousness, the more you keep walking up the steps, you have a new outlook on the scenario, on what you're looking at every step. And that's why when you're shifting frequencies, you will have new perspectives. So if you want to occupy a state, a new frequency, a new state of being, the new partner, the abundance, the health. Imagine being on the top of that staircase and what different perspectives you would be holding from that place. And so coming back to the quote, your opinion of yourself will determine your expression in life. If you have an opinion of yourself that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy, that you don't deserve success, that success is only for other people, you will continue to align with that frequency, and you will continue to create that and more of that in your life. And it's not a judgment. This is so not a judgment, because I know for me, these are all the things that I have thought in my life. And what I have done to reprogram my subconscious mind, which I am continuing to do because I'm a work in progress like all of us, is to reprogram my subconscious mind to think differently and say, well, actually, I am worthy. And when those thoughts come in, those old thoughts that are not serving me on the frequency that I choose to now operate from, I just say, thank you. Thanks for trying to keep me safe, but I'm living from this reality now. This is the reality I choose. So thank you, and then give it love and let it go. Because when you're moving to a new state and new frequency, when you're raising your opinion of yourself, because you know you are worth it, because you are, by the way, you are so darn worth it. When you do that, you're likely to have old thoughts and things pop in. And that's why I created the frequency shift activation for myself, which is now part of, which I haven't even talked about on the podcast yet, my frequency shift journal, which I've just released. I'll probably do a podcast on that as well, because it's just a whole thing in itself. But inside that, when you do use that, you get taught how to create your own frequency shift activation, which I also call FSA. This FSA has helped reprogram my subconscious mind to have these new thoughts, to embody these new thoughts. And it's been a process, and it continues to be a process. And I continue to up-level what it is that I'm putting in my FSA, because it is helping me to reprogram and align with the frequency of my highest potential. And that's what I believe we're here to do. And when we do that, I always love saying when we do that, but when we do that, when we do intentionally create and reprogram, I should say, our subconscious mind for what it is we truly desire, we are shifting in frequencies. We shift frequencies as we do this work. And I just find it so powerful and exciting, because what it means too is it means that if you're someone who wants to see humanity thrive like I do, you know that it starts within. And when we, each of us, are doing the work to choose better, to choose what it is that we desire, to follow our heart and align with that, that right there raises the vibration of not only us, but it raises the vibration of the entire planet and beyond. It can't not. When we are being who we came here to be, when we show up and we do that, we cannot not help but raise the vibration of the entire planet and beyond. And that is such a beautiful thing. So if you're someone who is right now thinking, I'd love to step into a new version of me, please know that that version of you exists, because everything that ever was, is, or ever will be, like I said before, already exists. So there is a version of you that is already doing the things that you want to be doing. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the thought, and that wouldn't come into your mind. So it is there. There is the healthy version of you. There is the abundant version of you. There is all versions of you. You get to choose which one you want to align with. And it comes once you decide this is what I'm doing, all right, I'm aligning with that frequency version of me. I'm tuning like a radio station. Everything exists. All different radio stations exist on all different frequencies. You just tune into the frequency of You Rock FM. And that's where you rock, and you are living your best life, whatever that looks like for you. And this is why Neville Goddard says this, and many other people say in different ways, your opinion of yourself will determine your expression in life. It will determine your reality. So us doing the work, when we do the work on ourselves, that right there is the stuff that is shifting frequencies. It's shifting consciousness. It's raising our vibration, because we are raising our in frequency, and we are changing our lives for the better when we do this work. And so to be aware of it is a beautiful thing. And like I said before, if you've decided, if you've gone, all right, yep, I'm doing this. I am so doing this. I've decided. And then you have a shitty day, which, it's life. You might have shitty days. Don't judge yourself or beat yourself up if you have a thought that's not supporting you. It's an old thought. Just say thank you. I know I'm having a shitty day. I acknowledge it. But still, my reality is this reality. You can still, in your healthiest days, in your most abundant days, you might still have shitty days. So you operate as if you are already in that frequency, just having a shitty day in that frequency. So with all of that said, you get to choose, you get to decide how you want to show up, what frequency you want to align with, what version of yourself you want to align with for your time on this planet. It really is a beautiful thing. So I think I'll leave that right there for today, the Rock the Ripple podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it, and you did hear me talk about the Frequency Shift Journal. I'm absolutely pumped about this thing. It is the very thing that I wish that I had, and then I used my frequency shift activation to create it and bring it to life, and now it is alive. It is a real thing that I can hold in my hands, and you can too. And it has everything all in one place. It's got space to write your frequency shift activation and your shift script. It's got the foundation section, which sets you up for every quarter ahead. It has a plan and align section, which has calendars, daily and weekly spreads. It has flow pages and so much more. So if that is something that rings your bells as much as it does mine, check it out. I will leave the links underneath this podcast in the show notes, And you can head to my website, of course, at naridamckinnis.com, where you can check it all out and be taken through to the journal or any of the activations that are available on the website as well. And aside from that, I really hope that you've got so much out of this podcast today and that you are having a brilliant day. And yeah, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time.